and welcome to Vegetarians and Meat Lovers with Julie Hogue. This is my podcast where I talk about food and things about how you can make food for a split table where people are vegetarians and meat eaters within the same family or at the same table, which can be a challenge, right? But it's really not that hard as you would think. And this recipe is one of my recipes. I usually call them a hybrid recipe or recipe for a split table, but hybrid is one I often use too, where it is a mixture of a way to make food that has meat and is meatless. And this recipe is in my American Midwest Cooking Quiches, Split Table Recipes for Vegetarians and Meat Lovers. I have another bigger cookbook that is One Dish, Two Diets, Recipes for the Hybrid Vegetarian and Meat Eating Family. So those are the two cookbooks I have out. And I have a few other books out there too, for just smaller books that can help you with this type of thing too. And those are on Amazon and Kindle Unlimited. I think most of them are on Kindle Unlimited. Anyway, I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season. I am excited because my oldest is coming home from college and we're going to have Christmas at our house. We take turns with my sister and we host one year and then they do the next year and we flip-flop back and forth. So I love Christmas time. I love all the food. I love all the traditions and the time we get to spend together. With my son home, we have another person to feed in the house. So we're a family of 5 again when he's home over college break. And I recently just made this Hawaiian bread spinach quiche, and I'm probably going to make it again because it's just so good. I might make it over the break when he's here again because it's so good. It's just a delicious, wonderful recipe, and it's actually pretty easy. So it's really not that hard, but what I really love is it combines that flavor of the spinach and the Hawaiian bread. So you use that Hawaiian bread, and you're going to break it up into pieces. And it just makes for a really good flavor. Now, we've made this with smoked ham, and my husband has made like a smoked ham, and we had leftover ham. I've also just used regular ham, and that's just as good. But they say the smoked ham is really good in it. This is pretty easy. You can do it for a breakfast, a brunch, lunch, or dinner. Any of those work. And it's really very good. I love it. It's very juicy, and it's got the spinach in it and stuff. So it's really super good. And what you're going to need is you're going to need a glass baking dish, about 9 by 13. You'll need a bowl and a large spoon and a knife and measuring cups and measuring spoons. And on my website, I have this recipe there as well. And it's a nice little handy thing where you can click the 1 times, 2 times, or 3 times if you want to make it bigger. Now, if you're feeding 5 or 6 people, you might want to actually make 2 pans. And if you're doing that, you could make a meatless pan and a meat pan. The last time I made it, it was just myself and 2 of my sons because my husband was out of town. And I just did the 9 by 13 pan. We had enough and we even had some leftovers. But it depends on if you want leftovers or not, right? So then I split the pan in half. Half of it had the ham and the bacon and the other half was meatless. So it's super easy. And the meat does not drift around. It's not juicy or anything. So it's not like the meat juice comes onto the vegetarian area. It stays separate. And if you're really worried about it, you could just cut your vegetarian pieces farther away from the meat, but it doesn't even drift. I mean, it's not a problem. It stays put. So what are the ingredients you're going to need for this? You're going to need 2 cups of fresh spinach leaves packed. And I do pack them down. I push them down into the measuring cup. I have one of those big glass 2-cup Pyrex measuring cups. And I do punch it down and smush it so that it's a packed 2 cups. Because, spinach is kind of fluffy. And you don't need it to stay fluffy and nice because it's not going to be a salad. It's going to get cooked. It's going to wilt and be, melting into the actual quiche. So you don't need to worry about that you're damaging the spinach at this point. You need 1 tablespoon of parsley flakes, 1 teaspoon dry mustard, 1 teaspoon salt, 3 tablespoons of onion diced, and about 3 cups of Hawaiian bread. You can use the sub rolls or the regular rolls, and you're going to break them up into pieces. You could cut them. I usually do end up cutting them with a knife into little cubes. Then you're going to need 8 ounces of shredded mozzarella cheese and 8 eggs, 3 cups of skim milk, and 1.5 cups of cubed ham, and 1/4 cup bacon bits, 1 teaspoon of coconut oil. So that's all the ingredients you're going to need to make this quiche. And how do you make it? Well, you are going to combine in a bowl the parsley flakes, dry mustard, salt, and diced onions. And I do stir that, and it kind of makes the onions look kind of yellowish from the mustard. But I do stir that all together. And I like to do that just because then it gets the dry mustard and the salt and the parsley all combined in all around the onion. So it works really well to get it like dispersed around the onion pieces. And then in a larger bowl, you're going to need a large bowl for this because you're going to be hand mixing it with your hands to toss thoroughly. You're going to combine the Hawaiian bread cubes, the spinach leaves, and the shredded mozzarella cheese. And then you're going to add in that onion mixture, right? I use my hands. I mean, you could use a spoon, a big spoon if you really wanted to, but it's so much easier, I think, to just use your hands. So with clean hands, you're going to take it and you're going to just kind of like toss it so it's thoroughly mixed well together, all those ingredients. Then in a separate bowl, you're going to beat your eggs with skim milk. You're going to take that coconut oil and you're going to use a paper towel to smear it all around. That's usually what I use, paper towel or a napkin. And I just kind of spread it all over the pan. Then you're going to press the ham into half of it. So you're going to take all that stuff first and you're going to put that in the pan, the bread mixture and all that, the stuff you just mixed with your hands. Put that in there, and then you're going to add ham to half the dish. And I kind of just put it on top. You can press it in a little bit if you want, and then you can sprinkle the bacon bits over the ham. Then you're going to cook it uncovered for about 55 minutes at 375 degrees. You're going to remove it and let it sit on the counter for about 10 minutes, cut and serve. And it will kind of sink a little bit into itself. It starts to get puffy when you take it out of the oven, and then it kind of shrinks down a little bit. And it's a really good dish, and it's really good leftover too. And on my website, I do have the information if you'd like to know the information, the nutrition information. And this is per serving, 243 calories per serving, 6 grams of fat, and 1 gram of fiber, 300 milligrams calcium, 8 grams of carbohydrates. And there's some other things listed too. I think the other important ones are 21 grams of protein. And some of that's coming from the ham. So, that's probably not necessarily true of the vegetarian side of the dish. Then 622 IUs of vitamin A, potassium, 255 milligrams, vitamin C, 1 milligram, and fat, 4 grams. Well, that's monosaturated fat. Regular fat, 14 grams. So those are the stats. I know some people like to know that. And, I have this plugin on my website, juliehoagwriter.com, where you put in the recipe and it spits out all of that information for you, all the details. Some people want to know that stuff. But anyways, I hope you enjoy this very delicious, simple recipe. And it's a great one for the holidays because I feel like that Hawaiian bread gets used a lot around the holidays, right? When people have the bread bowl with the spinach dip. So a little bit of a different spin on that. And you still get that wonderful flavor of the Hawaiian bread and the mixture with the mozzarella cheese, I think is really just super good. And always the health benefits of having that spinach. Spinach is so good for you. Leafy greens are going to make you feel good, and you're going to just have so many good benefits from that. Fiber, you can't go wrong. And then this also is good if you're going to have a side dish with it. Some sort of potato or fruit are great options for that. I do like to have a little bit of a side going with it. I had some of those cheesy tater tots. And so we had that as our side when we recently had this recipe at home, and it's so good. I think hash browns is a great idea too for a side dish to go along with this quiche. Well, I hope you're enjoying your holiday season. It is right in the middle of the holiday hoopla, and I am mostly done with shopping other than food. And then we have to clean the house, and I have a ton of things I'm going to make. I kind of have my work cut out for me. I have a lot of things that I have to make yet. The pula bread, I'm going to make cutout cookies, another round of peanut blossoms. If I'm really ambitious, I'll get to the tarts. This season has just gone way too fast for me, and I haven't kept up on the baking and the cooking. So this weekend's going to be a lot of that. And it's it's super amazing how things just kind of snowball and all of a sudden it's Christmas, right? It's a wonderful time, but it's so much to do. And I need to get wrapping this weekend too. So I need to make sure I get all this stuff done. How are you doing? I hope you're maybe doing a little better than me. I feel like I'm kind of behind. And Christmas is less than a week away as I'm recording this. And I'm like, whoa, that's coming at me pretty darn fast. I need to get my butt in gear and get this stuff done. Well, I hope you're having an amazing time. And thank you for listening to my podcast. Down in the podcast show notes, you can find links to my books, which are on Amazon and Kindle Unlimited. And you can find them there and help you cook in a way that's going to make it easier for you if you happen to have a split table family like I do, or if you happen to be like cooking for, like, say, holiday guests that some people don't like meats, or you have someone staying at your house. I also have a how to cook for a split table of vegetarians and meat eaters, like a little ebook that has got some more tips and some recipes that I recently published. So that is there as well. And hey, check out my other podcast episodes. I hope you can enjoy them and find helpful, useful things. Thanks for following my podcast if you are following it, and give me a rating, a review, and share it across social media. It really helps me grow. And of course, my books, selling my books and reviewing my books are really super helpful too. So thank you so much. And my link will be down in the podcast show notes to find my website as well. Okay, you have an amazing, amazing day. Take care. Love you now. Bye-bye.